Today we're going to be focusing on the US consumer and whether they're beginning to rein in spending, and we'll get a picture of that through looking at corporate earnings results. Over the last few years, the US economy has been remarkably strong, especially when you compare it to, say, the UK and also Europe. And when we look at economic growth data, it's really been fueled by stronger consumer spending. And that's despite higher interest rates over the last few years. The questions are now being raised from the investor whether consumer spending in the US is beginning to cool. So we can look at economic data, but also what corporates are reporting in their financial results and their management guidance. Last week, we had the latest GDP results for the US, so that's a measure of economic growth. That remains robust, coming in at 2.8% for the second quarter on an annualized basis, and again, it's being fueled by consumer spending. But if we look at the corporate results that are coming through from the more consumer-facing companies, the likes of McDonald's, we get a slightly different picture. So if we look at the results released yesterday from McDonald's, sales and earnings came in below expectations. Sales were down 1% for the first time since the pandemic, and that's both internationally and US-based locations. US sales were down 0.7%, which for context, if we went back a year ago, Q2 sales were up over 10%, so a big change there. And I suppose the question is, why have the results been poor? Well, it's really the consumer demand has dropped off. If you think about McDonald's, it's an affordable fast food chain, but they've been increasing prices. So if we look at a price of a Big Mac meal since 2019, that's up over 27%. So a big increase in prices. Now the consumer is pushing back. They're faced with higher prices more broadly, but also higher interest rates, and they've also spent excess savings. Now, if we actually look at the share price reaction, McDonald's share price was actually up on the day, and that's because they said that they would extend their value meal at $5, which is suggests that they should be able to generate greater volumes going forward. But it's not only McDonald's that are cutting prices. If we look at other retailers out there, the likes of Target, Walmart and Aldi, they're also lowering prices on food and household staples, but also other companies the likes of Amazon, Walgreens and Best Buy, they've also started to lower their prices. So you're seeing some deflationary pressures come into the system. I suppose for these companies, they're going to have to work extra hard to boost productivity, to reduce costs elsewhere, particularly when wages are still increasing in order to really protect their profit margins. That's everything from us today. If you like the content, then please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.